there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with match number 4 with Painter's Servant. Yes, we'd like to keep this. Springleaf Drum is kind of weird. It can at least help get out of this Grand Architect. Godless Shrine, not going to be Eldrazi. We definitely want to see with the Painter's Servant. Be an Eldrazi. I think another deck this might fit well into is a Teysa Orzhov Scion deck with a sack outlet. It does create an infinite loop. And I wonder if that actually could happen in Modern. If it's yeah, we'll have to try that out for the next one. Let's see. We'll start off with a Springleaf Drum. I think that's more relevant than a Relic of Progenitus. It could be going up against Lingering Souls though, but it'll be a turn away from doing it. So I think that we will just lead off with Blinkmoth, and then Springleaf Drum, and that way it thinks we're on Affinity, which kind of similar to it. Oh, we are playing Eldrazi. Okay. He's going to hate my next play. I'm so glad we see that temple, because we will Painter's Servant. And you could have a Path to Exile, which is annoying for Painter's Servant. Removal is going to be tough. I mean, that's where Spellskites come into play. Servant can get a Relic of Progenitus. But black-white Eldrazi that didn't play a early drop is very interesting. It's probably, yeah, he's going to path this. And that's this is the old Wasteland Strangler white-black Eldrazi deck. I'm sure with the addition of Thought-Knot Seer and Reality Smasher. So kind of more of a mid-range version with paths and slaughter packs. It has even better matchup against Affinity through Stony Silence. Hangarback's nice, but it's still a card that is pretty rough for Path to Exile. I think the best thing here is we can. Whoa! Oh, I couldn't have tapped any differently here. So we can tap Grand Architect at least for 2 mana. All right, so let's see here. Doesn't it say tap? Tap and untap blue creature control. Add black. Why is it saying this? Is Grand Architect bugged here? I guess it's not any different if we just Springleaf Drum it and Blinkmoth, other than I could cycle through a card, because this should add. Tap and untap blue creature control, add this, its mana pool. So I don't know why. There we go. Now it's working. All right, so we'll hang her back for 1. And this allows us to cycle through the relic if we need to. Here comes Reality Smasher, I'd assume. Yeah, there's the Smasher, which is actually okay because this is a card we can compete with. I'm going to go ahead and cycle away the graveyards. Finds another Springleaf Drum, which is not a great card at the moment. But the Master of Etherium will be decently big, especially with the Blinkmoths. So Chief Engineer is nice because we can just cast it We do need our blue. And we can get both masters out. And this is so ridiculous. It's not even giving me the option here with the oh, whatever. We'll use that. I don't know why it's like tap and untap blue creature control, and it's forcing me to tap the Grand Architect. All right, so we'll Master of Etherium here. And we can convoke out the other one. And even convoke out the Springleaf Drum, but I think that we'll just save this mana for the Hangarback Walker or pumping up. So, I mean, this is the good way we can flood out with the deck. And this is exactly what I want to see this tribal deck doing, is be able to put out a board state with a 2/6/6s, a 3/3. And then when you start to copy creatures, I'm wondering if Phantasmal Image would be a decent card in this deck. Just as another way to copy a Lord. I don't think there's... I mean, Phyrexian Metamorph, of course, is really, really good to copy, but it's the only... Maybe a Duplicant. Duplicant might be really good in this deck as a way to exile an opponent's card or destroy it. Either, yeah, imprints and gets the power and toughness of the imprinted card with Duplicant. It's also a 6-mana spell, but I don't know if that'd be worse or better than Wurmcoil Engine. So it looks like a Wasteland Strangler, and he's going to go after my Grand Architect, and there's no way I can actually save it. And we do have an exile through the Relic of Progenitus. But he can't attack him with the Reality Smasher. I mean, he could possibly kill another artifact. He's trying to figure it out. I mean, he can path off, of course, the path off the Master of Etherium. I can block with the Master of Etherium and then tap it to tap the Springleaf Drum to put a counter on Hangarback Walker, and then use Blinkmoth to activate itself. And then pump up the Blinkmoth or the Master of Etherium up to a 6/6. And that would be able to kill the Reality Smasher if he goes that route. But I don't know what trick is up his sleeve if he does attack in. And I am going to go that route. We're going to block here. He's going to path my Hangarback Walker. We still get a trade with the... Yeah, nothing I can do here. But they'll at least trade. And Expedition Map to find his Eye of Ugin. So I do have... Myr Superion is great. Let's cast another Springleaf Drum. And then we can use the activate both Blinkmoths. They can actually tack in. I think that I can use the Chief Engineer to convoke and the Master of Etherium, but I think we actually want to. So let's see if we can. Yeah, that's not working how I planned. Okay, so yeah, so we need to activate a Blinkmoth. And then tap it. To bring in the Myr Superion. And then we can activate another Blinkmoth here. Tagging with both. And he's going to take 8. Down to an 11. And we have a 6/7 Myr Superion. He's blown 2 Path Exiles. Yes, he does have more slaughter packs in here. I'm sure he just kills the Expedition map, goes and gets an Eye of Ugin. And then that's going to get him ways to draw into more Reality Smashers. A Relic of Progenitus isn't bad. Allows him to draw a card. But we have some really good aggression going. Definitely do want to look into that Painter's Servant and the Teysa Orzhov Scion. I'm wondering if it just a black-white token shell now with Eldrazi. It's just, I think the Painter's Servant needs another upside to it to play at the moment. And so we can try that Dramatic Entrance deck. All right, we can do the exact same thing we did. So activate a Blinkmoth Nexus. And then convoke into Myr Superion. And then we will activate. And then attack in. So yeah, I have not liked these Springleafs. I think they need the cut. He's got to block one of them. And he's going to sack the Expedition map. But he loses the Wasteland Strangler and still goes down to a 3. So cards like Dismember are starting to get a little bit costly if he uses Dismember. Dismember is also another card we can use in this deck. I don't know if we'd want Springleaf Drums in that case. All right, so Sideboard will bring in all the hate. The Spreading Seas. Thought another card that goes great with Painter's Servant is Tidebinder Mage. The ability to tap down. You'd have to name green though. So in a Merfolk deck that you could name green, and then with the Painter's Servant, and then Tidebinder Mage literally can tap down anything, any Eldrazi card, any. Of course, they are going to hit Tarmogoyf, but the sky's the limit though with cards that Tidebinder Mage can lock down. And then it also, I think Painter's Servant gets nice with, isn't there a green creatures don't untap during their untap phase? Or Hibernation that returns green creatures back to their hand, but it would affect your own as well. But I think that there is some hate cards. You really want to look into the cards that pair with Painter's Servant that specifically hate out a color. Cards like Core Firewalker and Painter's Servant would be really good. Or even Arc Champion, being able to get protection from basically everything, turning your Arc Champion into a Progenitus or any specific color as a specific protection from a certain color. Circle Protection Red, for example, with Painter's Servant, turning everything into red. Yeah, so I think that it surprises me that it's taken this while for Painter's Servant to actually find a modern home. I don't know if it will be a permanent home, because again, I think that it needs to have both being relevant against Eldrazi and relevant with some other thing in your deck. And in this case, in our deck, it's the blue with the Grand Architect. So we bring in the Spreading Seas, we take out the relics. Relics are actually something that helps him. I am not liking these Springleaf Drums. I think Vedalken Shackles can take care of like Lingering Souls tokens if he's using it, and can take care of Wasteland Stranglers, so it's better than nothing. Chalice we can put on one for Paths and Relics, so I actually like Chalice in this matchup. Stubborn Denial is also okay for Paths and whatnot, but I think that Chalice is just better. If we just draw the one Chalice, I think that'll be fine. Other than that, I say we just keep it as is. Wurmcoil Engine can still come in, but Wurmcoil is just bad against Paths. Maybe the other Hangarback Walker for another Chalice. And I'm thinking we might want one more. He might just go for like Stony Silence. So I'm going to bring in one Stubborn Denial. And we will submit this. This would be an amazing hand, except we don't have any lands, so we'll ship it back. And I could really, hopefully in just 2 draws, we get a Scry as well. I want to keep this. Yeah, but I think this might just end up, we have 2 draws to hit a land. And might end up poorly for us, so we need to hit an island. Blinkmoth Nexus is fine. This allows us to Chalice for 1. But at this point, he didn't cast a relic, but I still think taking care of the Path to Exile, there's 4 of in the deck. Hate to see a Stony Silence come down here. Yeah, it's rough. But at this point, it doesn't hurt us too much. Caverns, we can actually name Vedalkens, which is fine. But I think we just go, yeah, we'll go Caverns here. And name Vedalken. And get the Chalice on 1. Now our Stubborn Denial is dead if we draw into it, but no relics for him, which is actually very significant. Bojuka Bog does nothing at the moment. He doesn't really have a game plan. We will take care of Urborg Tomb Yawgmoth. I think it's actually... No, at this point now, we just put out a Grand Architect. And might as well well, no, we need to hit Hangarback Walker for huge, since it can't get counters on it. And we'll metamorph into a Grand Architect. It's going to be a Thought-Knot Seer. Annoying card. He'll probably take my Spreading Seas. So possibly should have taken that. But he didn't have the caves out yet, did he? So it would have been not an active target. But if you see something in the deck... Wow, he took a Phyrexian Metamorph. I don't know if I agree with that. Sculptor's fine. It makes artifacts cost less. We can actually tap the... Because it's going to be activated ability of a blue card, so it's not going to be the same. So we can actually get a big Hangarback Walker out. 1, 2... Okay, so let's start off with the Etherium Sculptor. And now, yeah, I think that just Hangarback for 3 is fine. I don't know if we need to Spreading Seas anything. I think if you had Nayavugin, he would have used it. Oh, that's how you do it with Grand Architect. It just untaps it. Silly MTGO. Alright, so we'll tap the Grand Architect. And put out a huge Hangarback. And then we actually can undo 1. Let's see here. There we go. So, yeah, I don't think I want the blue. So we'll tap this. Like, all right. Forgot about the Sculptor reducing the cost. And this way we can actually turn the Hangarback Walker into a blue spell. And that way I can actually trade with the Thought-Knot Seer. So, looking pretty good. What if he's got another Urborg Tomb Yawgmoth and he's trying to bait out that Spreading Seas? I'm not afraid of Reality Smashers. I'm actually not too concerned with the another Thought Knot coming out here. Yeah, so we block. And I don't know if he's just not familiar with Grand Architect. Because we just traded, we get a draw card here. And that should be a huge, huge swing for us. As we get a draw card, put a bunch of Thopters that can become blue quite easily. And we can still activate these Blinkmoth Nexuses and attack with them. It's not considered an activated ability, so Stony Silence doesn't mess with that. It looks like, yeah, another Thought Knot Seer, though, will take the Spreading Seas. That's annoying, but it's something we can easily work around. Plus, he can't do anything against flyers at the moment. And we should have plenty of blue sources. So I think we will just start swinging in. And yeah, it's kind of pointless to activate this other Blinkmoth. Because we can just turn them into blue. And he's taking 6 here. So let's grind him out. So he's down to 13. We'll be able to activate 3 of them. He can attack into this Thought Knot Seer. We'll go down to a 16. This doesn't give him a defense, though. He can't path anything. He can't relic or expedition map. So we've locked out a ton of cards with Chalice. So this might just be a disfigure on the Grand Architect. Wasteland Strangler. Do I have anything in exile? Oh yes, the Spreading Seas. Yeah, the Thought Knot Seers found him. Alright, so that does slow me down quite a bit. That was a great draw. Oh yeah, that was a huge draw. The Master of Etherium. And that way we can activate Blinkmoth. It goes to a 3. And I have a hard time thinking he's going to come out of this. So I'd be interested to see what's in his hand. Because I'm thinking that Chalice is working overtime here on Path to Exiles. And maybe even Thought Seizes. I know this deck used to run quite a few Thought Seizes, Disfigures, Inquisitions of Kozilek, Path to Exile, Expedition Map, Relic of Progenitus. So Chalice, huge, huge, huge card in this match. I think we need to go up more in the either main board. That's another thing that can take care of that Springleaf Drum slot. Or possibly just going more in the sideboard, and we just have to tinker with the sideboard amount. Anyway, I think we'll play one more. This is Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching.